peeps, you know what's up. You saw talent from the six. You know we had to get the rest of the world in the mix. The urban franchise, Tony Montana. Gonna sit at the desk for guessing. Show you what they're about to. Tell you who they are. Let them promote what they got going on. And show you guys how awesome they are. Cause if they weren't awesome, they wouldn't be on the show. It is Down to Talk with Tony Montana, baby. We have the most, and 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 we have the most. What is going on, peeps? I am the urban franchise, Tony Montana. And this is another edition of Down to Talk with Tony Montana. Today's guest is a social advocate, entrepreneur, entertainer, Maria Guardado. Thank you so much for joining us. A woman of many talents.
Thank you. That was really kind. I really appreciate that.
So, Maria, tell the peeps a little bit about yourself. And what do you do?
So for me, I dabble in quite a lot. I am an author, a poet. I'm a student as well, about to graduate. And I also would say I'm involved heavily in the community. I volunteer for various organizations. And I also have worked in a lot of nighttime venue, and I do so much. I do across the board. I do a lot. But I mostly like just to stay social and stay connected to my community.
Yeah. So what aspects of the community is your biggest focus, would you say?
I would say right now I'm more tailored towards my background community, which is I am Latina. So I most recently have been getting more involved in advocating for the Latino community here in Toronto, and just by partnering up with different brands and different community organizations, including Toronto Latinos, and most recently my collaboration with Latin Sparks Festival. And yeah, I just really want to help out and promote, the wonderful culture that is being Latino or Latina, and it's so across the board. And I definitely want to help be a part of that and help bring, I guess, not more awareness to it, but just invite everybody to the culture, you know?
Push it out there, put it more in the spotlight.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's the first thing you bring up to someone that you're trying to expose them to that Latino culture?
Firstly, music.
Yeah.
It's the easiest, it's the most universal, as love is universal, music is universal, truth is universal, there's just so much. So I think the first thing would be music, definitely, to introduce somebody to the Latin culture, and then food, and then, just go down the alleyway, dance, and whatnot, and just immersing people into the culture and just getting with it.
Okay, so what's the one dish you would recommend to anyone to try? What's the one?
Oh, for me, okay, that's kind of biased because for me, my mom is a Salvadorian.
Yeah.
So for me, I love pupusas. They are amazing. I recommend to anybody out there, please, please, please try pupusas at least once in your life. Yeah. No, you have to. I don't know if you have tried them, but
I've actually not heard of them.
Okay.
So what are they?
So pupusas is basically the way that I like to put a phrase on it is that it's like a Latin version, kind of like a Jamaican patty almost, and where it's like a tortilla, but it's not like your flat tortilla for a taco. It's like a much smaller and more, I guess thicker in density, tortilla, and then you just stuff it with ingredients, and then you pat it down, you put it on your frying rack, and then you just serve it either with a coleslaw called cortido, and then just salsa, just a regular tomato sauce. Yeah. But it's just the flavors and everything is just so good. Especially all mixed together, and it's kind of the traditional dish of El Salvador. So,
right on.
So yeah, that's why I love it so much.
Okay, right on. So what else are you working on?
Well, right now, I would say I'm working on a lot of things. Other than me currently working in my political pursuits, doing research analyzation and whatnot, I am working on a little bit of a secret project.
Okay.
I would say I'm working on what I like to call maybe my mixtape debut. I don't know.
Right on.
And yeah, I'm also working on just recently I'm going through a lot of new partnerships with different youth community initiatives. I'm looking towards, I don't know if you've ever heard of Empower Her Toronto. I'm getting into, I recently made contact with them and I'm working on some projects with them. So that's really exciting. You know, I'm all about inclusion and just helping empower just like different groups. If it's not even just my culture, but like women and children, other associations. Yeah.
No, that's great to hear. Like I'm all for like equality for everyone. I'm a total feminist. And it's just like, I'm from the 80s. I'm an 80s baby. So just like the way things used to be, the world used to hurt my soul. But just like seeing how it's getting to nowadays where like these new generations are working towards equality for everyone. Everyone actually cares about these big corporations now are actually caring. They're actually putting the effort. It's like beautiful to see.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're also in the entertainment game.
Yeah, I mean, I have been in and out of the entertainment game, but most recently now that, again, I'm coming to the latter end of my studies, I definitely knew that was just always a part of me. Like, I've always, like, throughout school, I've helped MC parties, I've helped host, like, different events, either that be, like, philanthropies or, like, fundraisers. I've also hosted a series of Latin Fest nights during the summer on a yacht cruise boat, and that was really fun. So I was hosting, you know, just like, hey everybody, like kind of emceeing. I guess. Yeah. So it was nice. And I guess like especially with COVID too, I guess like up to that point, that was last summer, was that kind of first back introduction into like the whole scenery. And you know, I've also been getting involved with Couple TV. I don't know if you heard about them, but I've been hosting some of their I guess date nights, their speed dating nights. So I would help host some of the main rooms. And that's kind of an ongoing project that I work with them. I do co-hosting. It's pretty great. So that's what I've been doing kind of in the entertainment realm. And I'm kind of working on a close project with Toronto Latinos also as a blogger. So I do blog for them as well. So there's like a little bit of everything that I like try to like add to, but now I'm kind of trying to kind of spread my wings a little bit and like, you know, test the waters. You know?
Right on. I was one of the influencers recruiting for Couple at one point.
Oh, really?
And I went to a few of their events. It's actually, were you on the Couple TV show?
Yeah, I was. The first season I was, but then I got cut because it was interrupted my class time for the spring semester. So it was like, yeah, guys, sorry. And I just got automatically booted because I couldn't show up to the event.
Dang.
Kind of makes sense.
That's true. That's true. Did you see the last season, how it ended, that whole controversy?
Like all that little back and forth. I heard a little bit about it, not too much, but it, you know, I think as long as nobody got like hurt, it's fine, right?
Actually, Tina Torres was supposed to be one of our guests today.
Oh, wow. What a coincidence.
We're going to be interviewing her virtually later.
Oh, nice.
So, how did you get involved with Couple?
So a friend of mine that I knew back from when I was, before COVID, working, I used to work for Inc. I used to work freelance Inc. Entertainment. I used to do P2P, bottle service, like co-check. I did everything across the board. Go-go dancing, I did a little bit.
Cool.
Like I did everything across the board. So one of my connections from the from all that stuff from, I guess, before COVID, she reached out to me and was like, hey girl, you know what? It's been a long time. I wonder, like, what are you up to these days? You know, she was helping with the startup, with the beta composition. And initially it was one of the first testers, like one of the like people that would go through. But, and so I helped with that, the initial startup a little bit, just like, you know, being there. And then they offered me to come on to the first season. And then they actually come and offered me to come to the second season. But I just couldn't, like, at that time, like, I just couldn't, like, participate. And so then they offered me now kind of, like, on and off, just coming in and hosting, co-hosting, and just, you know, just keeping the energy and the vibe on and getting people amped up, like, for their days. So.
Right on.
Yeah.
I've probably seen you in one of those events when I've gone.
Yeah, maybe, but, like, you know, it was, like, in the early stages. It was, like, you know, like, sometimes for me, I guess, like, the names like kind of all blurred,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah, there's a lot of people in some of them.
yeah, there was. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, there were so many people.
The dates of the drop ones, they'd have a couple hundred.
Oh, it's just like whoa, like I never thought I could talk to this many
Yeah,
people in like a short period of time. It's a skill. I think it's teaching a life skill.
This is true. This is true.
You know what I mean?
So you've been hosting parties and stuff, and like a lot of these parties, they have celebrities. So, what's the biggest celebrity you've seen at an event you hosted?
The Weekend.
Oh yeah.
The Weekend.
Right
yeah.
on.
Bella Hadid and The Weekend.
Yeah.
I was working at a night at Lost and Found in 2019, and I remember one of the bouncers was saying, "Yeah, we're gonna have somebody come in who's big tonight," and we're working P2P that night. So they put us like, but we didn't notice that the strategy and like the sitting because they didn't reveal who was coming tonight. Like literally we thought it was somebody else completely. And then it turned out to be The Weeknd and Bella Hadid were literally we were like in the booth right next to them, kind of occupying that booth, kind of like as an extra barrier. Like, and we didn't notice, and obviously we had to like just make sure everybody's having a great time. I know it was The Weeknd and Bella Hadid, but we definitely want to ensure everybody's just having a good time. That's what they were there for, right?
Right on.
So it was a great experience. Interesting. They had to at some point they just like put a barrier between our two booths of like security because people just, when all the Weeknd songs came on, people got a little excited, as they should.
Yeah,
he's
absolutely.
iconic. He's a legend. You know, Scarborough born and raised. You know, so put some respect on that. But I think that was probably the biggest, I would say. There's been a few DJs here and there, like electronic DJs. I also used to work at Coda. I don't know if you heard of them. They're an amazing company. And I got to meet some of the headline crew there and some DJs. But in my personal opinion, I think that night working at Lost, definitely. Bella Hadid is so beautiful in person, by the way. Like, I was surprised.
So let's dial it back. The pandemic happens. Now, this is something I ask everyone. At the start of the pandemic, did you become a COVID-alkie?
No. I would say no. Just because I've always just been a social drinker, to be honest with you. And especially at that point, I guess working in this industry at that point, because I am a student and it was just an easy, weekend, evenings, it didn't interrupt class time. And it paid very well. So it was, that's what I used to do for work, was just drink. So I didn't really drink outside of that. So for me, I didn't. There was an occasional once in a while where I guess I wouldn't drink alone or anything, but when the restrictions started to get a little more lighter, especially during the first phase, we can go outside and stuff. Sure, me and my friends would go to the park, and get our little blankets and have a few cute coolers, but nothing drastic, or stuff you would do if you were, going out with the friends on the weekend, or at that point restaurants weren't open, but something like that, have a picnic in the park, make your own mimosas, just do it your own. DIY,
Yeah, right on. So, let's hold on, I just forgot what I was gonna say. Sorry. Don't worry, this will be all cut out.
Oh no, I know.
I had something on the tip of my. Okay. So you host a lot of parties. Which venue would you say is your favorite one that you've worked at?
Oh. To work, I would say, honestly, I think I had the most fun at Toy Box.
Yeah.
In the beginning, initially, when Toy Box was making making a transition into Ink, because Ink had developed it, purchased it, whatnot. In the intro, the first few months, myself and some of my colleagues were working center, back, and front house. So front house being outside on the center, we would be doing go-go dancing, and there would be loud music blaring out, and we'd be dressed up really cool and artsy, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And then we were brought inside, and it would continue, and it was just such a good vibe, to be honest. I remember right before COVID, like Toy Box was amazing. Just like, I mean, it still is amazing. But like, I mean, like the whole setup, there used to be like a makeup lady, a hair lady, you know, because of COVID, you know, gotta be careful now. But back then it was like, everything was like classic and nice. And they always had like snacks, like they would always cater like snacks and chips or like popcorn, like for all the guests, like just openly. They also, you could just go and just grab a snack, which is kind of nice. You don't see a lot of like clubs do that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because like, you know, people drink a little bit too much, you know, a little too intoxicated, and so they would just provide snacks, which was cool. I think that's like an ink thing, because they do that at Rebel as well.
Oh, true, yeah.
Because obviously you don't, some people, you know, just have a little bit too much fun.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
So I would say Toy Box is definitely the most fun, and I would say the Empress Express, working on the Empress on the boat cruise that I worked on last summer. That was definitely a lot of fun.
Okay, right.
It was so much fun, just like being, you know, on the water, on the lake, and the sun, and the clear sky, and like, you know, just having a good time, and ensuring everybody else who's there is having a good time. That's all that matters.
Now, let me ask you, years ago, like a long time ago, I used to do flyers for clubs. And I found when I got into working there, I stopped having fun there. It's like, would you still go to an event or a party for fun? Or has it gotten to the point where it's just like you just see it as work and you'd rather be doing something else?
Honestly, that is actually a really good question, because you literally just made a connection in my head that I didn't really make a connection to anymore. To be honest with you, especially since, like, you know, the pandemic is kind of at the latter end of it, and you know, now of course we don't have as many restrictions, and things are a little bit more lax, and of course clubs are open. Like they've been open since what, November, like November-ish. So yeah, I think like for that specifically, the game has changed. I don't think I could take that whole see it exactly the way that I used to, just to have like fun, so to say. I mean, yeah, like as long as my friends are there and I'm having a good time, yeah. But I feel like most recently it's just not really my scene, unless I'm being like, it's work.
Yeah.
But I've been trying to also fray from that a little bit, just because it just can get a little, you know, you have to have a certain mindset for that, especially if it's during a night shift. And you know, just I think right now I'm making like a transition. But I mean, if it comes to hosting, you know, like different parties like I did like last summer, just like, you know, during the day, going to like the evening, or like, you know, into a decent, you know, time, and like, you know, the thing is that lifestyle just gets addicting, you know, because it's like that, it's constant, and it's like you can depend on it, and you know, and it's just a good time. It's just, you gotta rush from like just meeting people and being social and just, you know, having a good time. So you know, but then it's darkingly, because it's like, it's such a nighttime orient, right? So it's like when you come into light, it's like, no, it's like, okay, like this is fun, but I think I've been doing this for a little too long now, and I'm just trying to maybe just switch up the type of vibe, you know?
No, I hear that. I hear that totally. It's just like you evolved from that phase in your life. Yeah,
like in terms of like how much I was doing it prior, you know, now I'm more focusing and tailoring onto like my daytime like profession and like stuff like that, because again, I'm getting towards the latter end of my degree, and like that was a really great to do during school. It was perfect, you know, especially it was class times and like all of that, and it was consistent, you know, income and flow of money. So yeah, I would say during school, it was great. It was great to do.
What are you taking in school, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm taking I go to TMU, also used to be known as Ryerson University. TMU, which is Toronto Metropolitan University now. I'm taking politics and governance. That's my major, but I'm minoring in sociology and French. And yeah, that's what I'm working on in school.
And you're getting to the end of that journey right now.
Yeah, I'm getting to the latter part of it. I mean, the requirements, I've been struggling the last little bit, because initially I was supposed to be graduating this June, but because of some I took like a course at a different institution, and then the transfer exchange back didn't qualify for the entirety of my French minor. So now I have to go back for one course in the fall, but my program requirements, which is my major, is done.
Okay, right on.
So I just gotta get the sociology also is done. I just gotta go back and get that French in.
Yeah.
Because it's very important in Canada, you know, just for the French and working in government and whatnot. You have to have it.
No, that's true. You got to be able to speak both.
Yeah.
So it's like, what got you interested in politics?
There's a funny saying in Spanish. It's like, "Mi no me gusta política, pero yo lo gusta," or yo lo gusto. Pardon. Which means that I don't like politics, but politics likes me.
Oh, okay.
So basically, how I got into it, honestly, I think it's been kind of, politics is everything. Like politics, like the idea, it's not just government. Politics is power. That is what politics is. And there's power in everything. Institutions, the way that our family setup is controlled, you know, and the systems that take place in our world around us. Like it's everywhere. So for me, I always knew I was always drawn to certain factions of, you know, being in certain roles and just, you know, taking on certain roles, and how, like, you know, even playing in sports can be political. You know, depending on your position you play, you know, and like literally anything can be. I didn't realize that until going into a university. What it got me into politics is that for me, it's not about the politics per se. It's more about finding the solutions in political apparatuses. I truly believe that in my instance, you know, in high school, I had a teacher who essentially, it was a social justice course, like, you know, about, and there was a discussion in class debate, and we were split up into different groups for different debates. So it was like split up into three. So it was me and two other individuals who were having a huge debate on a certain topic. I don't remember. I think it was about like youth homelessness. And on one end of the spectrum, you know, they were saying that, you know, that's totally up to the parents' discretion. It should be the right of the parents. Or, like, you know, becoming sort of like a whole entity of the child, you know. But then there was the other side where it was like, you know, there should be more, you know, programs available to children, and whatnot. You know, they were bickering back and forth. It was just like them just yapping at each other. And then, you know, I decided to step in, but then the teacher was overhearing all of this discussion, and then, you know, I decided to tap in and be like, you know, kind of just offer a middle ground, be like a mediator. And I got them both to agree to the terms that I set on both sides of the spectrum. So I remember my teacher in high school said to me, you know, like, he pulled me aside after class and he said, you know, that was a really great, you know, discussion. I'm really impressed. That was well mediated. And I want to let you know that I think you will make an excellent diplomat, like an excellent negotiator. I think that, you know, you just, especially in the social justice realm, like, I think you do have that capacity. I don't know if you've ever thought about that or you know, but it's something you should consider. And so for me, you know, after that, I'm like, you know, like, I'm like, what is this? You know, and that's kind of what I'm working right now and still continuing to work on into getting into. And, you know, just the fact that I was told, you know, at a really young age, you know, still right before applying to university, you know, that, hey, you know, you're really gifted in this. And I didn't know how to put a name onto that because I've always been really good at finding a middle ground, finding a common interest, you know, kind of reeling people in on things that, you know, they love or they appreciate, or things that, you know, that we all need, you know. And I think it's different on different social aspects. Of course, on like a pop culture aspect, it'd be like music and food and like, you know, like different stuff like that. But I think for a social aspect, it's more along the lines of, I hear you. They want, people on both sides of either spectrum want to be heard. But you need to, you know, be in that position where you can go ahead and like, I'm going to try and solve this problem so you're happy and you're also pleased and happy, and we can all be in peace. And go forth and work together instead of against each other.
Right on.
You know?
You want to bring that commonness together, like everyone working together instead of being like the left versus the right type of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
So you're doing a lot of things right now. Where do you say is your biggest passion? Out of all the things you're working on, where do you feel your heart is?
Wow, that was a big question, but I think honestly, it's just change. You know, like look at this world, and for me personally, like the diplomat aspect is just one step of my big plan. And I really think that it's a time of change, and stuff is either going to go, and if things are only going down the spiral. Look at the cost of living, look at the, you know, the state of the international realm, you know, especially, you know, like the wars that are ongoing, not only in like Ukraine and Russia, but think about, you know, what's going on in Afghanistan, and like what's still going on in Yemen, and what's still going on in Palestine. Like, you know, like there's so much going on. And you know, there's also here in Canada, we have all these other issues as well. And it's just like, I think that, you know, something big is coming, and I want to be helping in the next, you know, 5 to 10 years. I want to be able to, you know, one day work at the United Nations and, you know, actually policy advocate and, you know, do some real not gun work, but running work to get stuff moving and, you know, be a productive, you know, world, you know, like think about our climate, our children, our women, like, you know, even our men out there who, you know, like they're struggling, you know, and it's like on every aspect. Like it's literally like mental health. It's like, you know, wellness, you know, it's like infrastructure. It's like the institutions, education, like it's all across the board, you know? So I really think that there's going to be a shift, and there has to be, like, come on, like there's no way, you know, the weight of the world is going on as it does. And I really think that it's time for some change. So
that's really admirable, because this is like a lot, especially nowadays, a lot of people are selfish, especially with where their goals are. They have such a selfless goal, just to want to make the world better. I really admire you for that, because not a lot of people care that much. And most people are just about them. And just seeing someone who actually wants to change the whole, like everything, and make it better for everyone, that really speaks to my soul. Yeah,
and that's just like what I want to do. Like that's literally like my passion. That's just what I want. And like it's just so hard. And like thank you for saying that, because like again, I guess like in this type of, you know, day and age, like people would say that it's boring. Yeah. That people would say there's no hope, that there's a lost cause, and there's, you know, there's always going to be hope. There's always going to be a reason. You just need people on your side in there, you know, and I want to be one of those people, you know, because that's how these systems change. It's from the inside out, not the outside in.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, that's truly what I want to move to go and do. Yeah.
All the luck to you, and that I hope you achieve every goal. I hope you're one of those people who are in the United Nations making those big moves and making change for the future. These next generations coming up, they'll have you to thank for how much better the world will be.
Well, let's hope so. And I'm just going to keep driving forward. That's my plan. That's why I've been, you know, being really aggressive and really determined, not only in my studies, but in, you know, the realm of, you know, because I'm still young. And I'm still, like, you know, in the early stages of my career, but I'm making moves that even people that are in my, you know, in my, like, on my, you know, on my spectrum, I guess, that I'm just moving towards, you know, working for different government entities and, like, moving up the ladder. And just, like, in the last year or two, especially even during this pandemic, I've been really pushing at it. And, you know, putting myself out there, not being scared to put myself out there. Because I think that's what I used to struggle with before. But I think COVID taught me not to do that. Just because why wouldn't I want to be anybody else? Why would I not want to be as genuine and as I am? Or, you know, showcase, you know, just try to be a better, just a good person, you know? But yeah, I guess that's what I can thank COVID for.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's the one thing is like a lot of people still see it in the negative light, but I kind of feel with a lot of my guests I've had, COVID has put a lot of people on the direction on the path meant for them, or at least helped them discover which direction to move in. So it's like there is a negative aspect of it, but I'm a glass half full guy, so I kind of take COVID for the positives that did come out of it.
Yeah, I hear that. I feel like everybody has their own opinion towards COVID. However, I mean, sometimes things just happen the way they happen, and there's just steps that are taken in terms of just, national security and security of the people. And, some of these decisions are not made here at the ground level, of course. Yeah. They're made at the upper level. That's just how these systems work.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that, there was some blessings, but there was a lot of downfall as well. This happens all so often, You got the good, you got the bad, but, just gotta stay strong and just stick it there, you know?
Just keep it positive.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. So there's a question I ask all my guests, another one. Where is the best place in Toronto to get a Jamaican beef patty?
Jamaican beef patty, I would have to say for me personally, have you heard of Tasties?
Yes.
Tasties.
Yeah.
Tasties.
Tasty patties.
Yes. Those are the best.
Oh, yeah.
The cocoa bun and everything.
Yeah.
The best.
Oh, yeah.
That or that is ideal. That's like the top tier, the toppest of the tier for me. Especially when they're fresh and they're oof, I can eat a whole box.
Oh, yeah.
I have to buy 3 boxes.
Yeah, true.
And so I would say after that, I would have to say it's definitely Bathurst Station or Warden Station.
Right.
Shout out to Warden Station, Rather Station, because it's really good. And shout out to Tasties, because y'all are the best.
Yeah.
But actually, no cap. I'm kind of sad about this. But they closed down that location. There was I think it was Paddys Express. There used to be one right near my place where I used to live, where I still live. But there used to be one there, and now they moved it.
Oh,
so I would have said that, but I don't know what happened to it.
I
don't know what happened.
What was it called?
I think it was called Paddys Express.
Paddys Express. I have to look that up. Maybe it relocated it or something.
Maybe, but it closed down. I used to, because I live right near there, that location. So obviously that would be most ideal, just walking around. And one day I went, and it was boarded up, and I'm like, no.
Damn.
I just literally was so upset.
Damn. The sad violin music kicked in.
Yeah, I'm just so sad.
Oh, damn. So I also have a so-called Fat Kid Tuesday.
Okay.
What restaurant would you recommend me doing a future episode on?
What kind of, to my preference, or what I think you'd like?
What, your preference? Well, give me your preference, and what do you think I would like?
So to my preference, I would say, to be honest, you can eat sushi.
Yeah?
Probably the one, let's see, the one right here on Dundas. It's on Dundas right after University. The name is not coming to me right now. But I also say try pupusa loca.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Right.
You want everyone to try pupusas. That's for my preference to tell you.
Yeah.
And for you, I think you should try Filthy Phil's.
I've heard of them.
I love poutine. We're Canadians, so I love poutine. They make the best poutine, hands down. Sometimes I have to Uber Eats it all the way from Stockyards to downtown.
Oh wow,
it's been 90 minutes, but it was worth the wait.
Oh wow. Okay, I'll definitely have to do.
You have to. Oh, it's so good, Filthy Phil's. I recommend that for you. But if you want to try something else, something new. I say pupusa loca. It's uptown. I think it's near Wilson. Where's that? Wilson and Dufferin? Wilson? Yeah, around that area. So,
right on.
Yeah, it's a good place.
Okay, it's in your area. If I go there, I'll text you and ask you to join me in the episode.
Okay, yeah, I'm down. Yeah, let's go. It's actually really good, so I'm down.
Right on.
It'll be really good, yeah.
So before I wrap up, anything else you want to say to the world as you have their attention?
Hi guys, hello world. All I'm gonna say is, you know what? Keep positive, stay healthy, take your vitamins, go get some vitamin D, breathe, take a break, and I'll be seeing you. So, yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Where can everyone find you on social media?
You can just find me on Instagram at Maria.Guard. I'm on Facebook, but Facebook is more like, it's more personal, so it's like close friends and family. But you can add me on Facebook. I totally add you back. And yeah, I would say that's pretty much all I'm on right now. I am kind of on TikTok, but I don't really use it. I'm still learning it too.
I'm figuring it out myself.
Yeah, maybe we can figure it out together.
Right
but
on.
yeah, I'm on TikTok, Maria.Rica, Rica. Yeah, that's where y'all can find me.
Right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Maria. All the links to her TikTok and her Insta will be in the description down below. Stay good, peeps, and keep it blitz.
How to get the rest of the world in the mix. The urban franchise, Tony Montana. Gonna sit at the desk for guessing. Show you what they're about to. Tell you who they are. Let them promote what they got going on. And show you guys how awesome they are. Cause if they weren't awesome, they wouldn't be on the show. It is Down to Talk with Tony Montana, baby. We have the most, and 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 we have the most.